Okay. Now, suppose, guys, you people are given that there is a basic angle of, let's say, um, 30 degrees. The basic angle is 30 degrees, okay? And you have to tell the location, that what are the possible locations. Now, when we're given the basic angle, we're not given the quadrant, we're just given the basic angle, okay? Then you should ask the person who's giving the basic angle, okay, man, tell us that how many revolutions are you talking about, or I have to consider, okay? Because this 30 degrees, if we just about talk about it in the first revolution, like if you go from 0 to this 360 degrees, then this 30 degrees can be here, this can be here, this can be here, and this can be here, okay? This can be 30 degrees here, this can be 30 degrees here, this can be 30 degrees over here, and this can be 30 degrees over here, the fourth quadrant as well. So if you're given that your alpha is 30 degrees and your x or your theta, which is the general angle, it can be anywhere between 0 and 360 degrees. So beta, then there will be four possible locations. Obviously, when you're going from 0 to 360 degrees, it's one complete revolutions, and on the way, when you go from 0 to 360 degrees, there are four quadrants over here, okay? There is the first quadrant, the second quadrant, the third quadrant, and the fourth quadrant. So if your basic angle is 30 degrees, then the general angles are going to be 30 degrees, 150 degrees, 210 degrees, and 330 degrees. You can see this is going to be 30. In the first quadrant, it is quite interesting to note it down. In your first quadrant, the basic and the general angles are always the same, okay? In the second quadrant, if this is your alpha over here, in the second quadrant, the general angle is always 180 minus alpha, if you're just talking about these limits, okay? In your third quadrant, this will always be 180 plus alpha. In the first quadrant, theta is equal to alpha. Here your theta is 180 minus alpha, theta is your 180 plus alpha. And the fourth quadrant, this is always 360 minus alpha. Okay, now this is something you can note it down, or if you don't even note it down, you can just see this as like when you have reached from this positions to this over here. So this is up to here, you have 180 degrees. So this is 30 degrees less than 180. So this is going to be 150 degrees. When you talk about this position over here, so this means you're going beyond this 180. So you're going to go beyond 30 degrees from this 180 degrees. So that is why this is this 210 degrees. And when you are going to consider this position over here for this, so this is going to be 330 degrees. Now suppose you have an alpha which is 40 degrees. Can you tell me the general angles for this from 0 to 360 degrees? Can you try that? Yes. Okay, so what will be these general angles here? If I change
40,
all
140,
30s with the
220, and 320.
here. Yeah. So that will be 40 degrees first of all, then
140,
140 degrees, then
220,
very good, and then
20.
there is 300 and
320.
okay. Now let's you have, can you have alpha equal to 100 degrees?
No.
No, never, okay? Alpha is always an acute angle, a positive acute angle. So let's say your alpha is 10 degrees. Now, can you tell me what are the general angles between 0 and 360?
10 degrees.
Mhm.
170,
70.
190, and 350.
Very, very, very good. That is going to be 350 degrees. Okay, now suppose now you have alpha as 30 degrees again, but this time your theta is going to be between minus 360 degrees and 0. Now you tell me what will be your theta. Yes.
Is it 30 or 36?
Alpha is 30, going from minus 360 to 0. Yes.
330.
This will be minus 330 minus
Minus 150.
210 minus
Minus 150.
150.
and then
Minus
minus
30.
30 degrees, because we always write from the smaller to the bigger. You can like roughly see that, okay, you're going to go like this. These are the angles over here. This is your 30 in this quadrant, 30 in this quadrant, 30 in this quadrant, and 30 in this quadrant. And now you have to go clockwise, okay? So when you go clockwise, so first of all, you have this angle as minus 30. Okay, then your next angle, this is going to be minus 150, and then this angle is going to be minus 210, and then this angle over here is going to be minus 330. Now which is the smallest angle here?
Minus
Minus
330.
330.
Minus 330. Okay, in minus, this is the smallest. Okay, so you, when you write it, you should start from the smallest and you should go towards the larger values over here. Okay. Now if you have alpha as, let's say, instead of this 30, suppose you have alpha as 40 degrees. Okay, now you tell me what are your, I mean, general angles over here. Yes.
Minus 320.
Okay, let the others do it, try it, and then we'll discuss it. Okay, so we have 40 degrees. It is like this. These four lines are more than enough for this purpose here. Now we have 40 degrees here. We have 40 degrees here. Never write the angle with the y-axis, okay? So this is 40 degrees here. And now since I have to go in this direction, this means I have to go clockwise from minus 360 to 0. Okay, so this is going to be, this is, you see, I'm going to go from this is your like I'm starting from the 0 here. In fact, so this is, that is what I'm writing this as minus 40. This one is going to be minus 140.
140.
This one is going to be minus 2,
220.
and this one is going to be minus 3.
Minus 320.
So you see that now these angles are, these general angles are going to be, I'll be writing it at minus 320 to, and then minus 220, and then I have minus 140, and then I have minus 40 degrees. Okay, so you know how to determine these general angles. Either you go clockwise or you go anti-clockwise. Okay, now suppose you have been given the basic angle is 20 degrees, okay? And now you're given that your theta is between minus 360 degrees to 720 degrees. So now you have to give all the general angles which fall between minus 360 and 720. Please try that. Now listen to me. Now, suppose you have 20 degrees here. This is your 20 degrees. Okay. These are the basic angles that we have. Okay, bacho, just listen to me. I have to see someone after this, so I have to be quick. Okay. You just find the values from 0 to 360. Okay. And then from this, we'll just write the values from minus 360 to 0. Okay. Now, we are very good at writing the values from 0 to 360. We know that this is going to be 20. Yes. We know that this is going to be 160. Yes, Bacho? 160.
Yes, sir.
And then you know that this is going to be 200 degrees. Yes. And the
Yes,
last
sir.
would be 340 degrees.
40.
Yeah, the coolest way of like finding the next values, like if you go into this diagram, this will confuse you a lot. You just add 360 into all these values, like 20 plus 360, you have 380 degrees, okay? Then you have 160 plus 360, that is you have 520. 200 plus 360 is going to be 560. And 360 plus 340 is going to give you 700. And if you want to find these values over here, you just subtract 360 from all these values. Look at this. 20 minus 360 is minus 3. That is a very cool way of writing these values. 160 minus 360 is minus 200. Okay. And then 200 minus 360 is going to be, yes?
Minus 1.
Minus 1.
Minus 1.
Minus 160.
Yeah, this is minus 160. And then 20 minus 360 is minus.
Minus 20.
So just 340 minus 360 is minus 20 here. Okay. So that is how you have all these values. For example, if you want to go further backwards from minus 720. So you subtract 360 from all these values, you will have these values here. Suppose you want to go from 720 to 1080. So you add another 360 into all these values, you will be able to write those angles. Do you understand this, Bacho?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I hope you are clear that why did we add 360 into it. Look at this. When this was simply here, this was the 20 degrees over here. Okay, you know this is 20 degrees. Now when you go from all the way up to this again, so this means this is 360 up to it, and then there is plus 20. So that is why you are adding 360 into it. Okay, so that is how you're going to manage. You're going to switch between the basic angles and the general angles. Okay, inshallah we'll be continuing this work from here into our next segment. Thank you very much.